Aloha sewing friends, welcome back to Aloha Sewing Company. If you're new here, I am Heather and today I'm going to show you how to sew the cutest little zippered pouch that doubles as a bookmark and wraps around your favorite book, notebook, or binder. This project is perfect for beginners and is so fun to make with just a little bit of scrap fabric. The little pouch holds so much, and if you've never sewn on a zipper before, it is super easy. I'm going to show you how, so do not be intimidated. I made 6 of these in under an hour for my daughter's back to school binder, for my planner, and for a few gifts. The printable pattern pieces for this project is below in the description box. And I also designed a couple cute handmade with love gift tags you can print out, so that if you are gifting these or you are selling them, you can add these to the inside of your zipper pouch. So if you want those too, like this video and comment aloha below. Now let's get started. For your fabric, you only need some scrap fabric. It doesn't matter what kind you use. I'm using cotton, and then you want to get a zipper about 10 inches long or longer. For the elastic to wrap it around the book cover, you want to use some fold over elastic, or you can use regular elastic up to 1 inch width. I prefer about 1/2 inch though. Totally optional, but if you want to add some structure to your pouch, go ahead and add some one-sided fusible fleece to the back side of your outer fabric. Now with your zipper facing up, go ahead and get your outer fabric piece and place it right sides down, right along the top side of your zipper tape. Pin or clip it all the way down, matching up the top edges. Then you're gonna flip it over, get one of your lining pieces. I'm just using a pink, but you would make it right sides together here, so you'd be looking at the wrong side of the fabric. Then you're gonna sew a line all the way down, catching all 3 of those layers. You can attach your zipper foot to your sewing machine if you have one, but if you don't, just move your needle as far left as you can. Then you're going to get your zipper out of the way, start with a back stitch, and sew all the way down, using your foot right next to your zipper teeth right here along the side as your guide. Make sure you end this with a back stitch to lock those stitches in place. Here's mine all sewn. I sewed right up to the zipper teeth, and then I'm going to open that up, and then I'm going to flip so that my outer and my lining fabrics are together. So the wrong sides should be together with your outer fabrics on the outside. Smoothen out your seam really nice, press it flat with your iron if you need to, and then you're gonna top stitch about 1/8 of an inch away from that edge. You can see where I've done that here. Now we're gonna repeat that process, attaching the other side to the other side of our zipper with the right sides together. So the zipper should be facing up with your fabric facing down, pin or clip across the top raw edges, flip it over and put your lining piece so that they are right sides together, so the wrong side of the fabric is looking at you, and then sew a line right across the top. Once you've done that, again, you're gonna separate these fabrics so that you put them together so that they're the wrong sides together, smoothen out your seams, and top stitch it about 1/8 of an inch away from your seam. I went ahead and top stitched that here. And then the most important step you don't want to forget, go ahead and move your zipper pull to the middle of your project. I also like to put my zipper teeth together right here and just sew a line matching it up with the raw edges just to hold these 2 pieces together so they don't move around. But that's totally optional, it's up to you. Once you're done with that, I like to go ahead and clip off the edges of my zipper tape so that it's nice and flush with the sides. And this part is totally optional, but if you want to add some pull tabs to the edges of your zippers, just get your fabric with the wrong side facing you, fold it in half. Then you're going to get the bottom raw edges and fold it to that middle, and the top raw edges and fold it to that middle. Then you're gonna fold the two folded edges together and top stitch along both sides about 1/8 of an inch right close to the edge all the way down. This is gonna make two different pull tabs, so you can have one for each side of your zipper. Now that mine is sewn, I'm just gonna fold it in half to find that middle point, and then I'm going to snip it with my scissors so that it creates two different tabs. To apply those tabs, what you're going to do is just fold them together and then place them right up against the middle part of your zipper teeth. So let me show you here. I'm going to grab one, fold it together, and I'm going to get the raw edges, so not the folded side, the raw edge side, and line it up right in the mid-center of my zipper, right up to the edge here. Then you're going to pin or clip that just to hold it in place, and then do the same thing to the other side. Now you want to grab your elastic that you're using. I'm using a fold over elastic. If you want the cutting dimensions for how long to make these for different size books, notebooks, binders, make sure you check out the PDF printable pattern that's linked below in the description box. Layer those right on top of your tabs, and then you're going to baste the edges of these. That just means sew a line right close to the edge just to hold them in place. This is not going to show in your finished sewing project, so do not worry about how it looks. You can see the tab is sandwiched right in between the elastic and the actual sewing project here. So again, don't forget to have that zipper right in the middle. You don't want that zipper closed, and then get your elastic out of the way. You're going to get your outer fabric pieces and place them with the right sides together. So those pretty sides of the fabric should be kissing, just like here. Pin or clip all the way across the top, just the top. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the lining, my pink fabric here. And then you're gonna pin or clip right across the top. Then we're gonna sew these two sides, but leaving a hole opening in your lining fabric, this pink fabric piece here. Here's mine sewn. I used a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and here is the hole opening that I left down here in the lining. Now let's move this to the side so we can see the open end. You want to match the top seam with the zipper seam and the bottom seam with the zipper seam. So we do this by just holding this open and pushing the seams together. Make sure you open them up all the way on the sides here, and then you're going to pin or clip this in place. Open up your seams if they're bulky like mine were, and then sew using a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance right across that top. Do the same thing with your other side. Just match up your seam allowances and flatten it out, pin or clip, and then sew a line all the way across the top. After I've got mine sewn, I want to go ahead and trim down my seam allowance around those corners just a little bit, if it's kind of bulky like mine is. That way when we flip it right side out, you won't have all those bulky corners. Now you're going to go to that hole opening we left in the lining, and then you see where your zipper was left open. Now you can go through that hole opening right there as well at the same time. Grabbing that side of the fabric, you're going to flip this right side out. Just pull it around until you get everything right side out, the lining tucked in, and then you're going to go in and poke out your corners, smoothen out your seams, and make sure this is nice and crisp. Now the only thing that you have left to do is to close that hole opening that we left in the lining. And to do that, you can do it two ways. So you just get that hole opening, the lining fabric, and pull it right out of your pouch. Put your fingers inside and it will flip that fabric inward so it's flush with the rest of the outside. So flip that fabric inward about 3/8 of an inch and then pinch it closed so that you only see the folds. Pin or clip it in place if you need to, and then you can take it to your sewing machine and sew right across those hole opening right here using a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, or you can use a blind ladder stitch and hand sew it closed if you really want to. Now you just want to go in and poke out your corners, smoothen out your seams, and press it flat with your iron if it got any wrinkles in it or anything like that, and you are completely done. I'm gonna give it to my daughter along with several other back to school sewing projects that I made to cover notebooks, binders, composition books, and another pen holder type bookmark as well. And I'm gonna give it to my daughter for her first day back to school. She's gonna be a junior this year, and I know she's gonna love it. Who would you gift this to? Or are you making it for yourself? I would love to know. And what kind of fabric do you like to use for this kind of thing? I'm more of a floral person, but I know the bows fabric is all the trend right now, so my daughter would love that one. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and supporting my tutorial videos. Don't forget, the link to the pattern pieces and the elastic cutting is down below in the description box. And if you want to see more tutorials, don't forget to subscribe because I put out new things every week. And before you go, mahalo.